But let's move on and talk about oil prices and the fact that it's rising right now, a serious concern across the world. It's not just an India problem. This is something that we're seeing across the world right now. And the biggest focus of that is the disruption of Strait of Hormuz. 20% of global oil supply actually passes through this particular route, which is what has led to this massive disruption that most countries have no control over. There's also a big fear over shipping because companies right now have halted transit through the Strait of Hormuz. There's no insurance that's coming through looking at the current situation, and especially because over 10 tankers have faced attacks for passing through that particular corridor. There are also limited alternative routes. Now, Saudi Arabia, UAE pipelines do bypass Hormuz, but that's the only one option. You need a lot more alternatives because of the kind of traffic usually that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's not shut, but it is choked up because nobody is willing to traverse through that route. Global supply shock. Oil prices are up about 1/3 right now. Now, hopefully, you're going to see that coming down with reassurances from the likes of Donald Trump. But there's also the risk of production shutdowns. Iraq, Kuwait may shut wells if exports stay blocked, because they also will be looking into their own interests, and that fuels another round of a crisis. Now, like I said, it's not just India. Many other countries are also grappling with the situation right now as fuel prices are being hit. Let's take China, for example. The largest retail fuel cap hike in 4 years has been announced, and clearly this is at a time of crisis. It's a mitigation strategy that China's taken up. Vietnam. They've announced a number of austerity measures. Work from home is mandatory. Fuel queue limits have been imposed. So if you're in queue and there's a certain number, that many will be accommodated. More than that, absolutely not. So you can imagine the panic in Vietnam as well. Work from home is mandatory, and this limit on fuel queues of how many can really fuel up in a day. In Sri Lanka, and let's talk about India's neighborhood right now. In Sri Lanka, there's panic. Schools and universities have been closed off. Power cuts have also been enforced. All of this is a precautionary measure because these countries fear that if the situation continues as is, there's going to be a serious shortage. In Pakistan, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif held a public address where he announced schools closed nationwide across Pakistan. Almost as if COVID-like curbs have been brought back because work from home, restrictions on government employees, all of that has been announced by the Pakistan government. Similarly, while we speak of India's neighborhood, what about Bangladesh? All universities have been shut. Fuel sales right now have also been rationed. These are countries who are taking extreme measures because they fear if the conflict goes on, they're going to be in a dangerous situation. Let's put the focus right now on Pakistan and Bangladesh. The fallout from the war is reaching South Asia, and millions of lives, fragile economies particularly, are in trouble, which is why in Pakistan, skyrocketing fuel prices has been accompanied with power shortages. Government has therefore announced a slew of austerity measures.
The ripple effects of war in West Asia are now hitting millions of ordinary people thousands of miles away. And two of Asia's most economic vulnerable nations are staring into the abyss. When Iran blocked the Strait of Hormuz in retaliation to joint US-Israeli strikes, the consequences weren't just felt in boardrooms and oil markets. They hit homes, hospitals, factories, and entire economies already running on fumes. In Pakistan, the lights are dimming literally.
सरकारी और निजी शोबे में इंतहाई ज़रूरी सर्विसेज को छोड़कर, यानी एसेंशियल सर्विसेज को छोड़कर, बाकी तमाम जगहों पर 50% स्टाफ घर से काम करेगा, यानी वर्क फ्रॉम होम.
A country of 24 crore people, almost entirely dependent on imported fuel, has been hit with a 20% hike in petrol and diesel prices overnight. Shehbaz Sharif's government has now rolled out sweeping austerity measures, ordering cuts in fuel consumption and slashing public spending in an attempt to manage the worsening fuel crisis. Pak government has shut schools for 2 weeks, cut allowances for government employees by 50% and ordered government offices to operate 4 days a week. This is a nation that was already on its knees, battered by debt, inflation and a currency in free fall. Bangladesh tells an even darker story. Fuel stations running dry after panic buying. A country of 17 crore people now faces daily limits on how much fuel its citizens can buy. But it doesn't stop there. 4 of Bangladesh's 5 state-run fertilizers factories have gone dark. Starved of gas now, desperately diverted to keep power plants alive. Crops, food supplies, livelihoods, all hanging in the balance. Bangladesh imports 95% of its energy. It is, by definition, at the mercy of global markets, and right now, those markets are merciless. The country is scrambling to buy emergency LNG on the spot market at eye-watering prices it can barely afford. 2 nations, 2 economies already fragile, fractured and fighting for survival. Now caught in the crossfire of a conflict they never started, paying a price they simply cannot afford to pay. Bureau Report, India Today.